All right. Welcome to Lunch and Learn. Thor and I hang out and review charts for about a half hour Tuesdays at lunch. And the time is now. So, got the recording started, thinking Thor is probably here just waiting on me. I'm running a couple minutes behind.
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm good. I'm little seasonal allergies, a little cloudy. So, aside from that, having a nice trading day. What are you trading right now?
Actually, I made a trade this morning. I haven't really done anything else. I'm kind of working on this the futures thing,
Ah, yes.
and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. And I'll touch on that later. Maybe one of these lunch and learns. Maybe next week
That would be
we'll
awesome.
talk about it. But really quick, what I'm trying to do is trade off a SPY. So far, what I've done is I trade off SPY and pick the direction, enter the trade on futures, and then I'll look at the candles on futures and set my sell
Yeah.
and stop from there.
Yep.
And so far, it's worked.
There's so much correlation between them, and I switched over from using SPY charts a while back to using ES charts even when I'm trading SPY. So definitely interchangeable. So it's really whatever you see well. So if because your levels are stellar on SPY, and I was not. I was trading SPY okay before I started doing that. I definitely trade Qs way better from that chart. And once I discovered,
Yeah,
dang, dang, there's some
probably because you concentrate on cues. That's why you're
right.
better at
Well, yeah,
cues.
since
I'm
2002, right? I'm used to looking at that chart, and I just saw so much volatility in it that I'm like, that's a little more than my palate likes. So moving over to SPY more, and I'm like, I'm just not doing this well. And there were the ES, like everything I needed. So yeah, if it works, because I know quite a few people. Actually, one of my friends in Canada just switched over from he is an exclusive, he is an ES NQ trader. He switched over to using SPY and QQQ charts because he was struggling seeing what he needed to see. So found that fascinating, but he's very experienced and it's working well for him. So that's what's great is we can all find, it's what works well for you. It's defining that edge.
exactly. That's why I absolutely, if I can't use SPY to trade the futures, I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it
Yeah, you
because
should be fine.
I'm laser focused on SPY. I use it to trade my other tickers, the other tickers that I play as far as the directional during the day. And because SPY is like my niche,
Yeah.
it's going to have to work for me.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it should.
I won't play the fuse. I first of all, I don't have the time to uh, fine tune something else now.
Right. Oh yeah,
I just
no
don't
no
have the time
reason
to
to
do it
change
now.
your
So
lane. And that's a big thing to remember for you guys that are listening is changing your lane is about the worst possible thing you can do. So even though he's going to use those levels to go trade ES, he's still using his levels that he's doing well, that he's traded well, that he's familiar with. Where I do better with Qs and I don't trade NQ as much. So it's right, why change it? Hugely profitable. That's all that really matters at the end, consistently profitable. So
exactly. I mean, why if it's not broke, why fix it? I mean,
yeah,
I
for
don't want
sure.
to
You
switch
should be
anything
fine.
off of SPY. I make good money on SPY, but I noticed the other day at the end of the day, there was an ODTE play that I wanted to make on a play that was going to work. I could see it was going to work, but there's no way. I would have had to go to next day to be able to have the theta not kill me. And by the time
Right.
the next day came around, it would take me out of the play anyway. So
Yeah,
I had no option to play. But if I had futures, I would have been all over it. And that's what
exactly.
really, really stuck in my mind on why I want to do it, because I could have done that play and I could have rocked on it. So,
Exactly.
anyways,
Yeah, so
we don't have a lot of time
we'll
today.
do a more in-depth
Let's dive into our thing.
futures delve maybe next week. But yeah, let's go in looking at I think SLV is our first one.
SLV, that's silver, isn't it?
Yeah. Silver is so manipulated. I don't even know if I want to look at this chart. I'm going to though. I'm going to do it.
I am. I'm looking at it now.
I'll let you open this one up. I'm going to draw some lines while you're doing that.
Uh, I don't like it on the daily, so I'm just gonna move right out to a weekly. Not that there's something wrong with it. The chart just doesn't fit my eye. Mm. For me, I just, I can't find anything I like about it. I don't see anything I dislike about it. It just doesn't look like, there's a play yet. It looks like it still needs to kind of decide what it wants to do. I mean, what I would probably do, you draw it on the weekly, draw something here. Right from here. Yeah, see, I like to see some trend lines line up. I'd like to see some support and resistance, like that's pretty clear. And I don't have any of this. I mean, I see on a weekly, I drew, in fact, let me post this. On a weekly, I drew some trend lines, and it's probably gonna get forced to do something here. But when is another story. Don't pay attention to these lines that are straight up from the right. I use Yahoo charts to do a lot because it's easier to move my cursor around, but they cross over sometimes the trend lines that I have written on other charts, and I
Oh,
don't
okay.
bother to delete them. But you'll see
Oh,
you'll
and
see two
actually,
lines directly on the
I
right side of the chart.
am recording my screen. So if you are you streaming? Yeah, no, you're not streaming.
No,
Okay, you're just posting. Okay, because
no,
I was like, I can go in and if you stream, then I can record your stream through Discord. But okay, that makes sense. You're posting.
I forgot about it and I didn't look into it, so I'm still not streaming.
Okay, that's fine.
Basically, because I'm stubborn and lazy.
I don't know if lazy is the right term. Hard-headed. Yeah. You're in good company. That's all I will say. Okay.
But that's what I think about it. Cedar, you take it from there.
So here's the danger in an analysis on something like silver that is so massively manipulated at a level that is probably incomprehensible to most people. I've owned physical silver for a very long time. And it's like it does not behave where normally I'll say a chart is a chart is a chart. I'm not sure that I buy that one here. I'm going to zoom back out to monthly. So I put some trend lines on monthly that, if we were looking at just overall trend, we popped out of a symmetrical triangle. We're back testing it and back out of it right now. But that being said, I can't, other than owning physical silver, I can't touch it. So somewhere like $11 to $13 was where I bought it. It should be worth like $150 if we look at the equivalent with gold. And it just is there for entertainment purposes because it's been there. I'm going to say 20 years. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the chart. 15. We've had it for a long time. It's never really done a lot. So I'll post the monthly chart. I can't. I guess if you're looking to have initiative, like not be trading the paper silver, as long as we have a daily close over this $20.98, which is the only line that I could find anywhere on any time frame. If you're looking at adding to your bright shiny metal portfolio, then that seems reasonable.
Yeah, let me add on the trend line I drew on the top. It's really sloppy. And it's sloppy because it's really kind of hard to draw one there. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like it. I like being able to see defined trend lines. The bottom one's okay. You can see it. It's decent. But the top one is sloppy. And the reason why it's sloppy is the chart's sloppy. So that's the reason why I don't like it.
Okay, put a little note in there. There's my
What do we have next? Tesla.
Yep, Tesla, Pepsi, and Cisco. So let's do Tesla. We haven't done Tesla in a while, even though you hate it.
I love it for that short I'm waiting for.
I know.
It ain't gonna come for me though. It's so far away now. It's it's a dead play for that, the one that I was looking for. I think I said it was weak at 240. And it's at 216 now.
Yep.
Wow.
So I
I'm
have
just going by what I remember I said about it.
some existing levels here. I'm going to flip over to a different chart. I want to just get a fresh perspective. Well, that one's all marked up too. Look at good times. Okay, so outside of the symmetrical triangle, for me, we're sitting on the daily, we over the 200 moving average, which we lost 2 days ago, wicked down underneath the 207 level. So gonna have some adjustments. Give me just a sec. I'm gonna throw on my volume profile.
I have a thought on it.
Okay, so we've got a
One thought
ton of volume. Nope, I just re-rendered. That is not what I wanted. All right, TradingView, you can do this. Okay, a little bit of volume below us, 215.89. So on a short-term time frame, you can buy the dip on this to sell it at 226. 226.20 to 228.94 is the range that I have, just based on volume that a lot of it was put in the last month. If we get above 229, next real level up there is 245. And so this is something that I charted in one of these a while ago, because I only chart on these particular charts in these sessions. And that's about it for me. It's a short time frame long.
Yeah, for me, it's really simple. If it doesn't hold 214, it's going to fall more. You could you can buy it here for a bounce, but if it closes under 214 and holds, it's probably going to head down a bit lower.
207.60 below and 195.63 is what I have.
Yeah, that's probably about right. I just, I mean, it's a possible bounce here, but you know, if you watch that candle today, if that candle holds today, that's weak too. That's a reject. Where did it reject at today? What was the high?
222.07.
Does that line up anywhere? Oh, wait a minute, it does. I just saw something. That would be the 221, just over 221. I just noticed that when I was looking, when I mentioned the candle reject, I was looking to see where it rejected at. And if you run a cursor across 6/6/2023, you'll see that's why it rejected.
Are you on daily?
Yeah, daily.
Okay. I'm going to post a weekly chart with no lines.
It hit the top of the candle on 6/6/2023 and follow the line straight across. You can see exactly why it rejected there.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't spot that right away, and I don't know why. But when I talked about that candle reject,
well, and that's the second time. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a sign of weakness on Tesla, even though it's up $4 today. If it comes back down under 214 and holds, it's probably going to fall further. But if it holds 214, it could head back up pretty well. That might be the support it needs, but that candle reject today is saying otherwise. So if that holds today, that's bearish. Here, I'm going to
now last time we did that though, we had a gap. That's a very interesting spot right here.
Well, Tesla's an interesting stock anyways. It goes against the grain sometimes when it's when you think it's going to do one thing. Actually on sincere levels, support and resistance, it acts exactly like it should. But in the mediums, it never really does. When you think it's going to do one thing and it doesn't.
Yeah, I miss the days that Tesla traded as the perfect inverse of SPY. Perfect. Long gone. We're sitting above the 200 on the
Alright,
daily
so
is all I really care about. If it doesn't hold, it doesn't hold. It does not look strong here by any means. Into earnings season, it will somewhat depend on what we see coming out of Microsoft, Google, Amazon this week as far as market direction. Not super optimistic about those though. Okay.
Hey, real quick, Cedar, I just want to mention, if we can get if we get down to 421, 75, 80 on SPY, it's a bounce spot.
421.70-ish range.
Yeah, 421, yeah, 421.70-ish. Give or take 10 points, it's a bounce spot. Just for those that are listening in, that I just noticed that I'm probably not going to trade it because I need to be focused on it, and I'm here
Right.
doing this. All right, PEP.
Pep.
I like it.
I'll let you start with that one.
It looks like it found a bottom. It's making higher lows, which is always a good sign when a stock is kind of looking like it's done selling off. If I were to buy it, it would be on a hold over 163.
All right, let me pull that up.
Based on the higher lows, and it's trying to make a higher high here. That 163 would do it. And I don't even have to put trend lines on it. It's a pretty simple chart to look at and make a comment on. So I'll just post what I see and the.
Oh, that's a beautiful monthly. Holy moly.
I didn't even look at that. I'll go back out to that too while you're talking about it.
Magical. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the weekly. We have a test underneath the 200 moving average on the weekly. Pretty solid bounce here. So as far as levels goes, let me add volume in because I was not paying attention to volume, just looking at candles, and I like to see that volume piece. So overhead, if we do see continuation of this and during a recession, which who knows, right? There's all kinds of speculation. It's considered a lipstick economy, meaning people still buy lipstick, even if they're not going out for their $200 a night dinners that they used to. They'll go to a cheaper dinner. They'll still spend money on things like Pepsi. Make some cocktails at home instead. So if we bounce here, and I would need to see a solid daily continuation day coming off of this. So if we've got our weekly close coming in 4 days, so we still have a lot of trading time here. For sure, if we're underneath that 200 at 158.52, we have a problem. So no candle close on the weekly underneath there, pretty tight stop. Target above is going to be 170.30. And it could be a decently hard climb as we kind of get above let's call it 168.50. Let me drop that in there and see what I think about that. 168.28. I'm going to leave that there. I like that line. So flipping out to daily.
While you're taking a little break there, I'm going to post a 1 hour chart that I drew some trend lines on that are interesting. The same stock.
Daily is terrifying. So love it on the monthly. Daily is the scary, like buy when there's fear. This is fear right here, this far under. So pulling forward those weekly lines. Make sure I've got the right color here. So everything I draw on my chart, if it's purple, it's drawn on the monthly. If it's blue, it's drawn on the weekly. And if it's white, it's daily time frame or lower. So just still using pure
Wish I
Canada.
was that detail oriented.
Well, if I don't, just end up with a bunch of lines that I have no idea what the heck they mean. I'm like, oh, where did that come from? What's my relevance point? So the 158.52 is still a very serious point of interest for me, even though it was drawn on the weekly. And for me, it goes back all the way into November 30th, 2021 kind of interest. So this is one of those where I'm not really big on buying the dip underneath the 200 moving average, but man, this thing from a mean reversion perspective should bounce some. So if you don't have it in a long-term portfolio or something along those lines, this probably is a good place to buy, as long as they don't pull a Bud Light kind of marketing stunt. All right, I'm going to post the monthly chart now. That way you can kind of see that bigger picture that I'm looking at. All right. So
Can you
next,
guys hear that background music or
a,
that background
a little bit.
noise in my room? Is it, how bad is it?
Not too bad.
Okay.
All right, so Cisco is next, CSCO. Man, I've traded this stock so much.
I remember back many years ago. So a lot of them were that way.
Yep.
Microsoft didn't. I remember Microsoft way back was like $30,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at it now, going, "Oh my God!" But they never moved.
Yeah.
It was. I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was way back when I first started trading.
Oh yeah, I'm zooming back
And
into
Cisco was
the
just like that
90s.
one.
Oh yeah. Yep. Ugh. So I started trading after the excitement started. So this was a very tradable, very executable stock from the early 2000s. Not
Well,
sure.
I'm looking now, it doesn't look like it moves that much either.
Well, comparatively, right? Right.
Yeah. But I'm looking at it straight up. To me, it's a buy here for a possible bounce. If it gets under 52 and stays, it's sell your calls or your position and wait for it to firm up again.
And a chart like this is an argument for taking monthly expirations. Do not take weeklies. You want the actual monthly expirations and maybe even 2 months out to give it time to be able to develop. If you like 0-day trading, this is probably not your chart. So
no, definitely not. This theta will kill you here for sure. You'll never get anything out of a chart like this. You'll be going, oh man, it's getting ready to go, and it won't. You'll watch theta take hold, and you'll watch everything go to hell. It's in reality, this is a stock to, like you said, Cedar, monthlies or even commons.
yeah, agreed. Oh, my rendering is super slow.
We might be able to get to the one other person here if we can. Are you through with this one, Cedar?
I am. Yeah, this is a no-go. I mean, I guess I might buy a dip at 45.61 for a potential bounce back up to where we're trading right now. I can't convince myself that it's a good idea.
If we can do TLT really quick, we can get to this. We had one person that came in late there, and you do TLT and then hers, and then we're finished.
20-year treasury. All right.
He wants to know if it bottomed. Wow.
No. The answer is no. Okay, maybe. I don't know. Oh, that's horrible. Poor little buddy. So I typically use TLT as what would be the equivalent of UVXY for Qs. So UVXY and SPY, and then TLT. Oh boy.
Oh man, I wouldn't touch this. I wouldn't touch it. This is one of those. It can't go any lower.
Oh yes, it can.
Then, yet a year from now, you're going to be looking at it at $50 or something.
Well, and some of this
every day. It
is,
can't go lower.
yeah, and then it just keeps plummeting, which is what's been going on because the shorts are not gonna, they're gonna step out of the way when they're like, oh, it's gonna keep going down. So decent front running of short covering, kind of pop, put in some volume around 96. But the fact that we're down here, we have no business down here, and we have to think about this from a macro perspective. Money's moved out of 20-year treasury into shorter term because shorter term is so profitable. So until the rates probably start seeing some changes, and I'm going to go with an eyeball of late 2024, so about another year, where we start seeing cuts, potentially late summer, I guess. This thing could just keep going
Cedar,
down.
can I come in here
Mhm.
really quick just for a second?
Sure.
SPY, it's got like 2 more minutes on this 30-minute chart. And I said it's a buy, somewhere around 421.70. I actually did buy in there. But I'm going to wait for the next 2 minutes, 30-minute candle to close and see where we end up on that 30-minute trend line. And I'll decide whether to exit or not. Right now, it hasn't hit my stop loss, but my stop loss is actually going to be where where the next 30-minute candle opens and what it does from there. I actually did. I couldn't help myself. I went over and bought. Sorry, Cedar, go ahead.
That's okay.
Finish
Yeah,
up.
so
I
I'm
just wanted to
just
make
typing
sure.
out what I was talking about. We could see this continue to keep selling down until we start seeing a change in tone as far as rate cuts, which is we're probably weaning off rates. We'll know a little bit more coming into November 1st with our FOMC coming up. However, it's a while before the cuts start to happen, and that's really probably we're going to see the character change on this ticker. All right. And what's the last ticker?
That would be Sweet and Sassy, Meta.
Oh, Facebook. I've charted this one before in this session, so if you want to start with it, I just want to look at my levels and see if anything's changed since the last time. Doesn't look like much.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It looks like it's going to get into a zone between 313 and 318. Go out. That's on a monthly that I spotted that because I had to be on a monthly on the silver. Sorry, what was the last one we looked at?
TLT.
Bonds. Yeah. That one week, the weekly doesn't look anything like the monthly, daily. And it looked really good on the monthly, and the farther I scoped in on it,
The worse it looks. Yep.
at least, yeah, it looked worse. To me, it looks weak.
Underneath 300, I'm a 245 on it. Unfortunately, like it needs some recovery, and that's from the weekly. I'll post that chart.
I drew a trend line from May, kind of up on the daily, and right now it looks like it has support on the trend line, anyways, right around 30, 306, 308. Yeah, probably 308, 309 trend line I'd watch, but I don't like it. Not yet. I drew a trend line on that last gap up all the way back to May, so I'll post it. And that's about all I have to say on it.
All right, so here's my Meta monthly. Choose monthly. Let's see which one pulled up. Yep, it's monthly. I don't like it. I would be looking for potentially getting down if I just go on the monthly, just using a 10 moving average, just simple moving average, that's a 255.62, so slightly higher than the 245, but that would be my potential. I mean, this thing, look at these beautiful monthly candles, right? It really needs to cool off a lot.
And I think that's it, Cedar.
All right. Well, it's good
That's all
catching
we
you.
got. The timing was perfect. We got right through it.
Yep, excellent. To the penny with how many minutes I was late to how many minutes we're over. Oh, apologies
we
for
go.
that, but yep.
All right,
Okay, we'll
guys.
see you
Well,
next
thank
week.
you so much. And Cedar, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And
It was good talking with you.
anything else you guys need, just post it in the Lunch and Learn or even in Market Chat. We'll answer.
For sure. All right. Have a great afternoon.
Hey, Cedar.